Football made it possible to have friends in the most difficult times when there was no other way that was going to happen other than you were picked up on the side and you turned up and he said, I know that guy from somewhere, and he's going to be involved with paramilitaries, army, UDR, police, but it was a game of football.
Obviously I play football, so football is always going to be a huge part of what we do, and I think we were just talking before we came on here about the power of football to bring people from all different communities and backgrounds together. It's huge.
For me, just to see even one young person coming out the other end of a very complex world where they have all of the challenges of coming from disadvantaged backgrounds, and then this additional challenge of growing up in a trauma. The cross-border part means that you're bringing kids from both sides of the border, and they begin to get to know each other. And as a friend of mine in the States says to me, he said, I've thought a lot about this, and it is much harder to hate someone when you're up close to them. But it was basically talking works, engagement works. So we wanted to do more of the cross-border stuff because we probably suspected that this was happening, but when Brexit appeared, these narratives started to bubble up again. So we need to re-engage cross-border work. So having big, powerful cross-border projects is really important for us. They're now in England, and now they're meeting English people, and that sounds very. You're thinking, well, why does that matter? But for lots of kids who find themselves in especially in disadvantaged communities where tribalism can become very strong and they believe the narrative of it, you say, well, actually, it's just as another person just like you. And they they have the same challenges, the same interests. So let's start engaging on building relationships. Just understand the power. That we spoke earlier. Just the power of sport, and then the power of sport that's got the branding of Rio Ferdinand on it. Then you an extra bit, and then you're sprinkling something that's really powerful with gold dust, as far as we're concerned. Because young people will say, "Wow, Rio Ferdinand," and then you have that leverage to bring people that are also their heroes in sport to come and see, and that's a game changer for young people. Just so they come, they're willing to go across that social mobility barrier, because Rio Ferdinand's brought some people to the Rio Ferdinand program. So for us, it's a perfect match for us to get the young people to the next stage. We want to make a really good long-term shot at this. And we also have, which you mentioned about leverage. We have good leverage into government.
That makes it exciting for us as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's the part where you start putting in leverage.
And it's a partnership that complements each other. It's not one side more weighty or bigger than the other. I think there's elements that you have that we definitely would need and would require help with, and vice versa, so it's good.
And I think for us the big thing, I think we've talked about this, is it's all around that. As a foundation, it's about how do we deliver that long-term transformational change. So the relationship between us and yourselves moving forward, I think that gives us a really good platform to identify some best practice around what we do and see how we can sort of grow and share that learning. But secondly, from a foundation point of view, if we can start influencing and sort of helping to inform how policy and strategy develops about how you invest in communities, that's where we start making some long-term change.